Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna talk brushes. We're gonna talk all you need to know as far as brush basics and as far as like different classifications of brushes, different types of brushes, what to use brushes for, whoop-de-whoop, all that stuff. And I wanted to do this because I feel like I encounter a lot of people that haven't really ever been taught about brushes, or they don't really know much about brushes. They want to know more about brushes. So I figured, why not make this video for you all? One thing I want to say about brushes and makeup and all that stuff is that there are no rules, right? Like there are guidelines and there are what I like to call suggestions, but there's no like strict hard thing that you have to do, especially in this day and age with makeup, and the same thing applies to brushes. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing I want to talk about is the classifications of brushes. So you have natural fiber brushes, you have synthetic fiber brushes, you have duo fiber brushes, and then you also have split fiber brushes. So natural fiber brushes are typically going to be like powder brushes, eyeshadow brushes that are suggested to use just for like powder eyeshadows. And those are really great for powder products because of the fact that they can buff it out, they can finish it off really, really nicely. I found that it's really hard these days, especially to tell the difference between a natural fiber brush and a synthetic fiber brush because the quality is just so great in different brands and different stores these days. So you kind of almost just want to know from the very get-go, but there are different like little hints, like I said. So powder brushes are typically used for powder, and they're usually natural fiber brushes. So just to show you a couple of natural fiber brushes, you have the 135 from MAC. You also have the 129. This one is dirty from MAC. So these are different types of powder brushes. As far as eyes go, you'll have like the 217, which is super, super popular from MAC. And then you'll also have things like the 224. And these are the types of eyeshadow brushes that you typically use for powder shadows. The 217 though is an interesting one because it is a natural fiber brush, but it's a type of natural fiber brush that kind of walks this line where you can use it for creams and liquids as well. So this is actually one of my favorite concealer brushes and lip brushes too. So keep that in mind for that one because there are some that just kind of straddle that line. Like I said, it's getting really, really hard these days to tell the difference. Then you have synthetic fiber brushes. So those are best used for liquids and creams. So you're gonna have, for instance, the Morphe Mine's Dirty M439. That's definitely a synthetic fiber brush. You're also going to have the MAC 170 brush that I love so much. And then the whole like Real Techniques series of the orange brushes. Let me show you all. Mine are dirty. Once again, these are all synthetic brushes. And synthetic brushes, like I said, are used best for liquids and creams. And a lot of people like to use them to place product, and then they'll use a like natural fiber brush sometimes to buff out product. But there are no rules, like I said. After that, and newer to the game, are duo fiber brushes. And these are cool because they are literally duo fiber. So they're gonna have the white part for these are synthetic, and then the black part is the natural fiber. So it gives you the best of both worlds. So you can kind of place product and then buff product down and kind of move things around all in one without having to worry about having to use multiple brushes for different things. So those are duo fiber brushes. And then you have split fiber brushes, which I don't know if a lot of brands make split fiber brushes, but I know that MAC does, and those are the ones that I have. You see me use split fiber brushes all the time. I use my 128 all the time, but there's also like the 127. So this one you'll have the synthetic fiber and the natural fiber side by side as opposed to on top of one another. And this allows you to kind of switch sides depending on what you want to do with your brush. So like I said, synthetic if you want to like place product, natural if you want to buff things out, or if you're using powders, creams, vice versa. What else can I possibly tell you about the classifications? I feel like that's pretty much it about the classifications. And most of the time, brands will have listed if the brushes are synthetic or natural. I found that I was like double checking the MAC Cosmetics website, and they don't always tell you when it's a natural brush, but they'll always tell you when it's a synthetic brush. So I'm assuming if it doesn't say synthetic, assume that it's natural. And the other pages like Morphe, Real Techniques, they're pretty much the same too. Okay, after that, let's talk more about different types of brushes as far as where you want to use them. So Usually when you have like really big brushes like these are obviously face brushes. One hint for you with MAC Cosmetics, their brushes that are suggested for use on the face are usually going to start with the 1. So like for instance the 135, the 129, the 191, which is this one. It's one of my favorite brushes, especially for skincare. Yum. This is so good. Their eye brushes that are suggested for use in the eyes at least are going to start with 2s. The 224, the 217, the 266, and so on and so forth. And then their lip brushes are going to usually start with the 3. And I don't think I have any of the lip brushes on me right now. Yeah, no. But you get the idea. And different brands will have different types of classifications and different hints for different types of brushes. So keep an eye out for that one though. So you're going to have different types of eye brushes next, okay? So you're going to have everything from brushes where you're going to, let me grab some brushes where you're going to like place product and do a wide range of like eyeshadowing. So for instance, the 239 from MAC is like super popular. This one's really great for like placing products. This one's really great for doing a little bit of like a smudging because it has a density to it and it has a little bit of a fluffiness to it, so you have a lot of leeway with this one. You also have, this is an Ulta brush. This is a similar one to the 239, but it's a little bit larger, so it might be more for people that have a larger lid space or they want to do something a lot quicker. So that's the same type of idea with that one. And then you have the 252 from MAC. This one's really cool because it's really great for powders, but also really great for emollient type of products. So like paint pots and concealers and things like that, where you can just kind of place them and like move them around. So those types of creamy products, these are really great for. Then you're gonna have blending brushes, right? So the 217, the 224, I think people are most comfortable with blending brushes. And the whole idea of these are they're not gonna give you a whole lot of, I don't want to say depth, but they're not going to give you a whole lot of impact right away, okay? They're really nice and soft and fluffy for a reason, because they're going to diffuse out the looks that you're doing. You'll notice that the 224, can you stop, wind? The 224 is a lot bigger than the 217. So for instance, if you have a larger lid space or if you're trying to cover more area, the 224 is probably gonna be great for you. It's also a little bit less dense than the 217 is. The 217 is great because if you have smaller lid space or if you're trying to do something more crease work that's a little bit tighter, for instance, I use both of them all the time. And then you're gonna have like smudging type of brushes. So the pencil brush, a lot of people know different types of pencil brushes. These are for like smoky eyes, if you're trying to smudge out a bottom lash line or in the inner corners and outer corners and things like that. These are also very popular. And then there are all types of eyeliner brushes. You're gonna have precision type brushes, you're gonna have angled brushes, you're going to have straight edge brushes, you're gonna have all those different types of brushes, and they're all just really different ways to do eyeliner. I personally love a precision brush, and not even this one. This one isn't thin enough for me. I love the 210 from MAC. Where is it? I love it, but I can't find it. Mine's like beat up and broken down because I was just using it. Here's this one. So really nice and thin, and the reason why I like this one is because it forces you to go thin. Like it gives you a lot more control over the type of line you're trying to create. Whereas like, you know, a lot of people love an angled brush because it kind of does it for you. But for me, I've never always loved angled brushes. I know how to use them. I made myself know how to use them, but I am much more of a precision brush type of girl. Then you have these straight edge brushes, which I actually prefer these over angled brushes because they just sit and they fit so nice. They're great for lip, they're great for under eye work, they're great for over the eye work. I love everything about the straight edge brushes. I'll take these over an angle brush any day, literally any day. And then you have, well, this one is like a smaller angled brush. This one's technically a brow brush from MAC, but if you like a smaller angled brush, or if you have like a smaller eye, if you like to do smaller type of precision work with an angled brush, this one's really great. The reason why they classify this one more as a brow brush is I find because it's a little bit stiffer than the other angled brushes. And it's also a little bit shorter in its brush length too, so it gives you more control and it kind of combs the the brow hairs out a little bit more. What else can I possibly tell you all about brushes? Like I said, honestly, you can use brushes for anything. Like the 217 I use for my lips, I use for my eyes, I use for my concealer. The 208 I use for lashes sometimes. Oh, the 217 especially. If you've ever had your makeup done by me and I put false lashes on you, sometimes I will paint on mascara with the 212. I said 217 with the 212. This is one of my holy grail brushes. That's a great idea. Let me tell you some of my holy grail brushes. So if you're looking for just easy, beginner, or just like multi-use brushes, always go for duo fibers. They are amazing. So you're gonna find duo fibers like this. You're going to find the shorter ones, which are great. This one's cool. This is a 159 from MAC, and it is, it's kind of, it's not necessarily squared off, it's domed, but it's a little bit dense, but not as completely as dense as the 130. Because it's going to allow you to do like powdering, it's going to allow you to do some like pretty medium to full coverage work. It's also going to allow you to kind of fit in here to do like concealer. This is one of my favorite brushes, so the 159 is definitely a must if you can get it, or something that looks like this. That's definitely a holy grail brush. There's also duo fiber blending brushes too. Do I have any on me? I do not, but duo fiber brushes in general, they're always a great buy because of the fact that it's like two brushes in one. They're amazing. I always say get yourself a really, really good powder brush or a couple of them. And I honestly use one powder brush or two powder brushes typically for blush, powder, and contour, just because I'm a minimalist if I can be when it comes to makeup brushes, just because when I started off with makeup, I didn't have a lot. I had to use like maybe 2 or 3 brushes at most, and so I started building up from there. And now it's kind of crazy because I do have a good number of brushes, but even then I still feel like I need more because it's becoming an addiction. But get yourself a good powder brush and think about the shape though too. So this one is, I consider this a little bit more like a paddle brush. So I might not necessarily love this one for blush type of work. This might be more for just like laying and smoothing down product. I feel like for blush, this one might get a little bit stampy. So I'd probably prefer, this is an e.l.f. brush if I remember correctly, or Sonia Kashuk, but I probably prefer something like this for blush. And you see this one's like a really, really big dome shaped one. I am not a huge blush fan, right? So that's why I want something that's really big and it's really, really fluffy. So I'm just gonna have like a nice dispersed blush and not have to worry about that so much. But the 129 is always really great too. This is just a great general shaped brush. You can use this for powder, blush. If you squeeze it, you could probably get away with using it for contour. So that's a great one for multi-use as well. So just consider the shape when you're using different types of brushes. Consider the density, because that's always going to help determine what type of look you're going to get. So if you're trying to pack down color, go for more dense brushes. If you're trying to get a nice dispersed finish, go for more fluffy brushes. And the same thing applies to foundation brushes too. So like the Morphe brush and the MAC 170 brush, these are really great and really popular because full coverage makeup, especially on Instagram, is really in right now. And these are going to allow for full coverage makeup. But the nice thing about these is they are that kabuki shape and they are those like nice domed brushes. So you can do a lot of buffing actually to really make these look natural. So I hope that helps. I hope that answers a lot of questions. If I can think of any more, I'll definitely make sure I add them to other videos that I'm doing. If you can think of any questions that you have, definitely make sure you comment them down below. If you have any favorite brushes or your favorite brand of brushes, definitely let us all know. We would love to share. And yeah, I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, friends.